Jesus Christ, God's Son, came to earth, He won the victory as He was crucified on the cross and raised from the dead. And in doing so, He paid for our sins and opened the way for us to have a relationship with the Father. Saul of Tarsus felt that he was serving God by persecuting Christians. But Christ Himself stopped him on the road to Damascus by a blinding light and called him to be His servant. From that time on, Paul spread the gospel of Jesus Christ throughout the whole region.
One day, Paul had a dream of an unknown Macedonian, and this Macedonian begged Paul to come, please come and help us. Centuries later, from Macedonia, two missionaries, Cyril and Methodius, they came to the Czech Republic and began to translate the Bible into the Slavic language.
Although many had responded to the gospel, after several centuries, the Czech church became very secular. In response to this, God called a priest, Jan Hus, to begin to proclaim the truth again and call people back to the true gospel. He lost his life in standing for this when he was burned at the stake in Constance. Yet the revival that spread because of his witness impacted the entire country. In spite of continued opposition, the church grew. And 100 years later, a man by the name of Jan Blahoslav translated the entire Bible into the Czech language about the same time as the King James Version was translated in English.
It's amazing that in 1620, the Battle of White Mountain, which was a part of the 30-Year War, began a spiritual darkness in this area of the world. And it exists even to today. Even 100 years later, after the 30-Year War, Christians were being persecuted. And because of this, Czechs or Moravians left the country, they went abroad. A few Moravians found themselves with a man called Count Zinzendorf. And this man gave them the freedom to follow Christ the way that they saw fit, the way that the Bible talked about following Him.
Missionaries from the Moravian movement spread the gospel literally around the world. One of them accompanied Cook in his voyage around the globe. Another of Moravian missionaries led Wesley to the Lord in England, which sparked the Great Awakening. Other missionaries went to the West Indies and to America. In fact, in Pennsylvania and Ohio, large numbers of Indians were led to the Lord by Moravian missionaries. Many say today that the entire evangelical movement traces its roots to this Moravian awakening.
It's amazing that these Moravian brothers sent even missionaries to the U.S. David Seisberger was one of the first missionaries to our Native American Indians and gave his life there for over 60 years sharing Jesus Christ.
The last remnants of this movement in the Czech Republic were cut off by fascism and Hitler invading the country, which was then immediately followed by communism with its totalitarian atheism.
The Velvet Revolution in the Czech Republic brought a long-awaited freedom, but many are still living in spiritual darkness.
After all these years of persecution and opposition to the gospel, the Czech Republic is one of the most secular countries in the whole world. That means the least number of people who believe in God. But in spite of that, the young generation is unusually open. Now they're open to spirituality of any kind, whether it comes from Eastern religion or even from the occult. But they need to hear about Jesus Christ. And just like the man from Macedonia, they're saying in a dream maybe, not directly, they're saying, will you come and help us? Will you tell us about Jesus Christ?